have this. So I have a recipe from the Terry Wahls cookbook. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wahls protocol, but she's pretty amazing. She actually spoke at our Parkinson's conference. She videoed in, but she reversed her own MS by developing a nutrient dense diet.
Really?
And has developed it into a protocol that she's trying to educate people in areas where, they may maybe not have access to fresh stuff. But anyway, she has this apple pie smoothie that I used to make for John for breakfast. So I would make it in the blender and we would split it. And so today I made it and I was like, well, this isn't going to keep. Maybe I'll just eat the whole thing. So I drank the whole thing because I thought I ate quite a bit yesterday, but it was interesting when I put it in Chronometer. I was like, oh, it wasn't really that much calories. And so anyway, I didn't put the recipe in until later in the morning. And then when I put it in and said I ate the whole thing, I was like, oh, that was a lot.
I love it. I love it.
But I wasn't hungry again I didn't eat again until 2:30. So.
Wow. What time did you eat the smoothie?
10 o'clock. So, and I didn't eat a huge lunch at 2 o'clock and I'm pretty full. So.
Jen, were you about to say something? Did you say?
Yeah. Can you guys, I'm outside. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just love it because I want to, especially for women, I just want to get away from this, like eating daintily and eating. I know I've told you this before, but we already know how to diet and how to like restrict ourselves. So many of us grew up being told to, watch your calories, watch your portion sizes. And what we never learned was how to eat well and nourish and like, let's feed ourselves, but let's do it the right way. So like Martha, like embrace your 900 calorie meal. I like, that's what we need to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's
a very healthy, so it has one Granny Smith apple. You peel it and chop it. It has, 2 medium-sized carrots. It has a can, like a whole can of coconut milk. And there's 2 versions. There's one where you can add more MCT oil, which I didn't. I added 2 Brazil nuts, but there's an option if you want to, instead of Brazil nuts, you can use almond butter. And then it's like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves.
Oh, yum. Yum.
And so you can also swap out, and instead of the apple, you can use a can of pumpkin puree.
Oh, nice little pumpkin pie.
That would be nice particularly for the fall.
Yeah. So anyway, I like that. She has a number of different smoothies I'll show you. My recipe book is it's worn out because I used it a lot for John, to try to get some nutrient density into him. But it's the Wahls protocol, Cooking for Life. Revolutionary modern paleo plan to treat all chronic immune conditions.
Interesting.
And she has like a basic smoothie template. And so the way she does it, she has like the Wahls diet is one column, Wahls paleo is the middle column, and Wahls paleo plus, which is typically a little higher fat. But she does like a ton, like her cookbook requires a lot of chopping because you're having a lot of vegetable servings in a day to get that nutrient density.
Okay.
That's something I remember from her basic book, is that she had like different tiers of like how many plants. I used to try to do this actually. She had like one of her plans is to get in nine servings of vegetables every day.
Yeah.
But she had different levels depending on what if you're treating something or just want to.
Well, and if you think about it, okay, like 9 different vegetables. I mean, that's
a lot.
I mean,
it was a lot.
Of, trying to figure out variety but she does a lot of her things are like stir fries where you're just throwing all the vegetables in and so I need to let these people who have been waiting to get in.
Wait, this isn't just for me?
Yeah. For you. Okay. Here we come. But 9 vegetables a day can, or depending on what the seasonality is. Hi, Chris and Marcia.
Hello.
Hello.
That can. We're talking a little bit about the Wahls protocol because for breakfast I had one of Terry Wahls, her apple pie smoothie, and I used to split the smoothie with John, and I drank the whole thing myself. And when I put it into Chronometer, it was over 900 calories, which I'm not really worried about. But I was telling you the recipe, and then her. The other thing that's in there is nutritional yeast.
Nice.
So, and I have to look and see what the nutrient profile of what I've had so far. But she has that, and she had this other. She has a carrot ginger smoothie that's pretty good. But I don't know how it fits with the low carb kind of. But it's like 1 orange.
No, it totally doesn't.
Yeah, 1 orange, 2 medium carrots, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened sunflower butter, or 1/3 of a cup of soaked sunflower seeds, 1 can of full fat coconut milk, a cup of water, a piece of fresh ginger, and a twist of black pepper. Which at first sounds kind of weird, but there's a chocolate one that I like that. But again, that's one it just like wouldn't fit in the low carb, I don't think. But John loved it. It was a frozen ripe banana, a half a cup of frozen cherries, which I can't even find cherries anymore. And
Really?
a cup of frozen greens. And then it's cocoa nibs, coconut oil, full fat coconut milk, and cinnamon. And it is very tasty.
That sounds yummy.
That sounds really good.
But it's not in the low carb
No.
realm.
No, the banana threw that out. That's why it tastes so good.
Well, why don't I take a couple of these recipes and I'll run them into Chronometer, and we can just see what the net carbs come out to be. And I also wonder if you could add some scoops of protein powder, just to change those, just to shift the nutrients around a little bit.
The other thing that I wonder too, Jen, is if instead of banana, frozen avocado.
Avocado. Yeah. Yeah, I like that strategy.
That would be good.
So the one that I had that I drank, that I had the whole thing this morning, was 39 net carbs. So I've used 92% of my carbs for the day.
Oh, so you just can't eat anything ever. I mean, for today, right?
Well, I mean, that's okay because I just had leftover flank steak for lunch with some, with.
So I joined a little late. Are we? It's funny because my question was going to be, does anybody have a recommendation on a protein drink, like a morning drink or mix, that they feel is really high quality? I make my own, but I have a recipe for one, but my client, a particular client right now, wants to just go out and buy some ready-made, she just wants to add the water. And I'm just not familiar with that. I don't know.
Because there aren't any good ones out there, frankly, in my opinion.
You can there is a protein powder that's fantastic. It's Equip, and it's just beef and it's the whole beef. So there's collagen and actual beef protein. It's beef protein isolate, and they have a chocolate and they have a strawberry, and it's grass fed.
I have tried that, and I have tried Noble before.
Okay.
So we were trying those. What I will say is, after talking to Barry at length about the process that these protein isolates are made, they are, what's the word? The word is escaping me at the moment, but like, they're basically, you're breaking down and disturbing those protein structures in the process of what you have to do to heat them and dry them and, extract all the components or what have you. And so you have proteins that I let me see if I can find I wrote a Substack about it.
I mean, that's what's so disturbing about like buying ready-made things these days. It's like every time you turn around. I just read something about, I have Seed Oil Scout. Jen introduced that to me. And Seed Oil Scout is now, like commissioning third-party reports. Well, they just said, well, Graza has microplastics, but so does everything else. It's like, well,
right.
What the F am I supposed to do with that information? Like, I have bottles of Graza just sitting here waiting to be eaten. Consumed. So it's like, what the hell? Everything's in plastic. Even if it's in glass, it's still, and to me, it's like when you're buying like anything that's packaged, like a smoothie mix or something like that, or even just like the fruit, like the frozen fruit, you run into these issues about, like you said, if you're making an isolate, what's being destroyed in the process of making the isolate, or if there are other like additional, thickeners, stabilizers in there that in the long term are not that good for you.
Denatured. The word I was looking for is denatured. I don't know.
Okay.
So here, I'm just going to share this for a second. This is, and I put the link in here, but this is the post that I.
Yeah, I could not. I saw that you put the link. By the way, hi.
Hi.
It's Maritza here. I'm from Canada. I just had to jump into my car because I couldn't find my headphones, and yeah, it's 1:40 here. So anyway, I'm glad to join. And I can't see. Well, I see you, but you guys, I'm not logged into Google. Like, I just never even do that. So I'll have to ask my kids to help me. But you know what? I just want to say something about before you go, Martha. I couldn't get that link. It's just like I don't have that picture because I'm not signed. What you sent. But there's a David. Have any of you heard of David protein? Like
yeah, David bars.
I have. Is it just the bars, or they have a powder too?
I'm only familiar with their bars if it's the same company.
Okay.
It was started by the founders of RX bars. And then Peter Attia got together with them, and they created these bars that had 28 grams of protein per bar, like one small-ish, not that small actually, but a snack bar.
Okay.
Is that the company you mean?
Yes, yeah. And I looked at it, and it was very expensive, and especially enough to, but for Chris, for client might be applicable, but I don't know. Just thought about it.
They had decently, not perfect, but decent ingredients, and then they changed their recipe.
She disappeared.
Oh, she did.
Oh, that was Jen. Yeah, she
disconnected her. Well, so what I'm showing, and if you could just search like Martha Carlin Substack protein and probably find the post I'm talking about.
Right.
But, I basically wrote around, these protein isolates, whether it's whey, soy, pea protein, collagen peptides, that, collagen peptides are fully denatured. So while, we may be getting something that is helpful out of them in large part, they are a processed food, and we're trying to move away from processed foods. So if you're going to get collagen, you want to get collagen from a healthy homemade bone broth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
If you can avoid the lead and the heavy metals.
If you have the right microbiome, your microbes will take care of that for you.
And I think if you cook it for less time, probably in an instant pot or, and
I mean,
then
I always do a whole chicken, so it's not, just, but also knowing the source for your chicken as much as possible. But the other thing is native proteins are electromagnetic structures with a charge, and that is how they partially work in our body. So when they're denatured, they lose that charge. And, part of what proteins do is they're helping to organize the other structures in the body. So
Right.
it's, to me, it's not ideal. And I know people, there's kind of a protein craze of, more protein, more protein, more protein. And I'm not sure I buy that, I'll just say. And I'm a kind of a contrarian on a number of things. And, protein is also one of those things, particularly if your digestion isn't moving well. If you have protein fermenting in your gut, it's going to make some nasty molecules.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's exactly why you don't put protein in a compost pile. You never put protein in a compost pile.
I had a doctor who said felt the same as you about protein, and that really I think he had some good ideas. He would say one meal is enough a day for people over 60, and he felt that but he did not think protein was an important part. When I realized, my sense of it is that where are we getting how are we getting the amino acids to create the neurotransmitters that we need for balanced brain for thinking? I mean, I have, several clients that's their main thing, and I look at their diet and they're way low on protein. I don't know. So basically, are you feeling that powders are all in order for it to be a powder, even like Paleo Valley, which tries not to over process, I think, even that is not you just want real sources, correct?
I mean, at the end of the day and I know it's not always possible for everyone to have real whole food every day, but the more foods you put in your body from the processed category, the more problems downstream you're going to have. I mean, and all of those powders, all of those bars, all of those quick solutions for people are, they're processed. They are processed.
Right.
And they're marketed, and we are marketed, raise our protein, and I know that's actually part of the, the counting the protein and everything for this 30-day reset. But I mean, yes, you need amino acids, you need, but gut bacteria make the three of the important neurotransmitters for the brain. So tyrosine, phenylalanine, and tryptophan are made by gut bacteria and plants. I mean, you can get them from an animal because they ate the plant, and those are the three amino acids that are fluorescent. So they're the only amino acids that carry light, which I think is probably very underappreciated and not well understood, but there's something to that.
Yeah. What
Because
was
the
the third?
whole earth is powered by the light of the sun that comes through the conversion, in plants and us eating it, and, things that molecules that carry light. I know Zach Bush has talked about the double bonds carrying light, and I don't know, like maybe that's too far down the weird sciencey
Well,
rabbit.
so is that true then? The same thing with like taking a supplemental tyrosine or phenylalanine that
Or
you,
glycine,
pardon?
or glycine.
Is that then, would you consider that hyper?
No, I don't know. I haven't looked into those. I do actually take glycine. I have glycine in my coffee in the morning as the sweetener. And I know Stephanie Seneff has talked about glyphosate being an analog for glycine. And one of the ways to overcome that is to take glycine. But I hadn't looked at that as, I think I'd have to check, but I think a lot of the amino acids are actually fermented by bacteria.
That's a good question okay. Thank you. This is helpful. Of course, food first, but
There's also Marty Hins in Florida who had the whole amino acid protocol for Parkinson's. And
Right.
I personally think, I don't know because we never met with him, but I would really be curious to know how much of the amino acid problem is those 3 aromatic amino acids, because they are actually the amino acids, the pathway for the production of tryptophan, tyrosine, and phenylalanine is also the pathway for the production of dopamine and melanin and lignin in plants. But I think, lignin is similar to collagen.
yeah,
So-
yeah. That actually, did you call him Marty Hins or Hines Hins?
Well, is it Hines or Hins? I think
don't
it's
know. I don't
H-I-N.
know.
I think it's H-I-N-T-Z or H-I-N-Z. So
the success that he's had treating Parkinson's is one of the reasons that I am really feeling strong about making sure there's enough protein, even though, we hear different things. But the part about it being over processed in these drinks, it makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to have to find more real food first ideas. And
the other thing is just making sure that the bowels are moving. So more protein is not a problem as long as the bowels are moving, but that requires some fiber too. And
right.
If the bowels are
yeah.
moving, then you're not going to have fermenting protein, but you do not want fermenting protein.
You don't, but I guess that brings to mind another question. I mean, even on Dr. Davis's program, I can fully imagine that there might be an occasional time when you get constipated. And so I guess that because of that, I want to raise this question. You don't want to go to the store and buy Miralax or Dulcolax or any of the other laxes. What do you do to relieve that that's not going to disturb your microbiome to get things moving in case they're not moving as much as they should?
So, it's interesting you ask that question because I'm actually working on a book about poop.
And of course you are.
Like all the different,
Amazing.
issues around it. But
it sounds like a shitty job, Martha.
it's a shit. But somebody's got to do it, and I am
somebody's got to do
it. But like at our Parkinson's conference, one of the things we were talking about was chronic constipation and this connection. And the neurologist said, "Don't waste your time on problems that have already been solved." And I was like, well, how has it been solved? And he said, oh, Miralax. And I was
Oh no!
No,
Oh no!
that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
fell out of my chair that he did not know, even though he does microbiome research, he did not know the research and the connection to how much Miralax changes the microbiome and like creates all these downstream problems. And so, I say, like, first and foremost, not Miralax. And strangely enough, like going all the way back, probably 100 years, you know what the typical remedy for constipation was?
I thought it was prune juice.
A glass of warm salt water,
Really?
Nice.
which is, very gentle because it changes the osmotic balance and pulls the fluid in, and is actually better for the glycocalyx, which we haven't really talked about, than some of these other remedies. But there's also in Ayurveda they use castor oil sometimes, and that's like 1 or 2 tablespoons of castor oil in warm water. Try to have a light evening, don't eat heavy that evening meal, and then take castor oil, and that works really well. There's also an Ayurvedic herb called senna, S-E-N-A,
Yeah.
but that's kind of one that you don't want to get into using all the time, and that can cause more cramping. But there's a herbal mixture called triphala that is also used in Ayurveda, and that people use. Actually, there's a doctor who is a neurologist, I think. Let me see if I can find her. Her name is Dr. Chodari, and she wrote this book it's probably been 6 years or something. Let me show you. But let's see. I don't know if you can see me here. It's called The Prime. And this talks about weight loss, but it's not really about weight loss. And it's really interesting because she is a classically trained neurologist, but her grandfather, I think, was a Ayurvedic doctor. And she ended up having some health issues of her own and really turning to Ayurveda and kind of relearning the things she knew as a child and applying that. And so some of that is in here with her her protocol. Now I'm going to see if this brings me back. Does this bring me back? Here I am. But she does talk about triphala in there. Or the other thing you can, so that they have like mixing herbs. It's ground fennel, cumin, and coriander. If you like mix that into a spice blend and put a tablespoon in warm water before you eat, like just sip it for like 30 minutes before you have your meal, it ignites what they call the Agni, or the fire of digestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know when I was growing up, my mother, we knew how to, for constipation, was always drink prune juice. And then for diarrhea, my mother swore by nutmeg and water. And that would just like stop diarrhea in its tracks. It tastes awful.
Interesting.
It's like drinking a bomb or something, but it really worked. So
that's interesting. But you can get, like, for an occasional constipation, some of those remedies, no big deal. But
some of what remedies?
Like
the castor oil, or
the castor oil, but it's where you run into challenges is as it becomes like a more and more difficult and
Dependency. Yeah.
chronic
And-
issue dependency.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
What's-
what about, magnesium citrate, since you don't build up a tolerance to that?
I think that's probably, well, there's another one, magnesium oxide. It's called oxy something. That's
Yeah.
actually what Pam told me she uses, and I know Dr. Magarino uses that too. So it's a magnesium oxide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what did you mention, Jen? You called it what? Magnesium? what?
Citrate.
Oh, okay. You
And
dropped
that's
out there.
basically what they give you for a colonoscopy.
Well, they give you Miralax. And
Yeah,
so
they give you Miralax.
Dr.
do?
Davis, they do.
Oh, yeah.
It's
When did they
horrible.
start doing that?
They've been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, drink this poison so we can figure out what's going on with you. Oh my God, there's poison in you.
I'm not. I haven't had a colonoscopy ever.
Good for you.
I
I'm
had
not
one
doing it.
Well,
once.
they
I'm
actually showed some research. So in Canada, they do not recommend prophylactic colonoscopies.
Really?
Yeah, and so there's a researcher who used to be with the EPA. His name is David Lewis, and he wrote a book called Science for Sale. He did a lot of really interesting research when he was at the EPA or working with the EPA. And he was actually one of the people who discovered that the equipment that dentists were using was transferring HIV, and it changed the whole setup of how dental
Wow.
equipment is cleaned and used and all of that. But he started looking into colonoscopies too, under the same premise that this equipment is maybe transferring material that,
Wow.
so he's the one who told me about the study in Canada versus in the United States and the much higher incidence of both colon and anal cancer. And I
Oh.
think he
Wow.
told me it was in people who had actually had colonoscopies. So I think like Cologuard was great,
Mm.
a great
Mhm.
Yeah.
solution where like, people can go and get it checked and, not have,
Yeah.
not have to.
You can do that totally from home,
And, a lot of times for colonoscopies, they are anesthetizing you. And
Yes.
so there's quite a bit of evidence about anesthetics over the age of 60. Like you want to avoid that at all costs. Your ability to recover, your mental acuity and stuff is, continues,
Wow.
to be challenged. And that was something I had looked at too, because we had been looking at doing some root canal removals with John, and the dentist wanted to anesthetize him. And I was like, that I don't think that's a good idea. So we're actually a little far afield of the 30-day reset.
Yeah.
So we always get far afield of our subject, but do we have any other specific 30-day reset questions? Oh, we lost Jen again.
Well, I do, Martha. I mean, not
Yeah.
I have comments, Martha. Come on. I have comments. I have a rant.
Well, give it to me.
Okay. So I'm looking through this, and I said this to Jen. I said, this is great as far as it goes, but I feel like for those of us who are doing Dr. Davis's program, for those of us who are doing Dr. Davis's program, we need additional guidance, because where Ben starts and where we are two different places. Like, for instance, he's talking about in the first week, getting used to the idea of like a 12-hour fast. Well, I've been at I've been at a 6-hour eating window for years now.
Wow.
So, and I'm not going back to 12.
Well,
but
okay, so let me just play the devil's advocate for a moment. maybe
It
eating in a
wasn't done
6 hour,
ranging.
maybe I'm asking a question. Maybe eating in a 6 hour window all the time is not disruptive enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's possible. So I talked about this with Jen, and here's what we've agreed to do, which is shift the eating window earlier in the day, because my eating window was like between 2 and 8. So I didn't have my first meal until like 2 p.m. And then I might snack, I might nosh or something during the day, depending if I had to be out, if I had to do work related stuff or presentations. I always have pistachios in the car, so I would nosh on those. And then at 8, by 8:30, I would have dinner. So Jen was saying, you know, when your eating window is later in the day, that's less beneficial than if it's earlier in the day. So now I'm trying to make a concerted effort to eat earlier in the day. Like today the goal was to be done eating by 12:30. That didn't happen, but I was done eating by 1:10. And then for dinner, my goal will be to be completely finished eating by 7:30. So that means prepping before then, so that I'm taking the last bite at 7:30. That's the goal. And the day before, I think I was like in between like 12 and 7 or something like that. So that's how I'm gonna adjust his recommendations, because I think eating earlier, it feels weird not eating at 8 o'clock, but it's a weird I can get used to, I think.
Well, it might be better for your sleep too.
I think
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
I've got a study that shows that, and it's just one. So I don't know if it's 100% true, you know, because Dr. Davis points out that you have whole countries like Spain. You have these cultures that eat
Eat
quite
very late.
late,
Yeah, very late.
and
at night.
they've stood the test of time. I don't know what their, you know, deep health picture looks like, but as a challenge, I think this is a good challenge. It's for me, you are smoking me, Karen, on this, because I'm trying to do this, and I was successful one day of the 3 so far. So I'm holding out for today. I have a plan. We'll see how it goes.
I've been amazed at how easily I was able to go, you know, I've done some intermittent fasting for sure, and eating later and later was sort of the way I would start, but I never went down to the 6 hours. And I started with the 6 hour window, kind of with his recommendation for those of us who've been doing low carb and keto for a long time. And I was just really surprised at how easily I was able to do that. And I thought, geez, I should have been doing this all the time. You know, I wasn't making my window small enough, you know. Now, does he ever refer in his book to Haley Pomeroy, or do you know her, Jen? She did did the first diet that I ever saw that it was addressing exactly what he's talking about, not so much in fasting, but in terms of which macronutrients you're focusing on. So there'd be like 2 days of, you know, all the carbs you want, and then there would be 2 days of like let's see, no fat, and then there'd be 3 days of just more like paleo. And the fact that you were switching back and forth like that was keeping your body enough off guard not to feel homeostasis, you know, not to get into a pattern, and really very successful. But he, you know, he explains it more, but I don't know. I just wondered about that. But anyway, I'm finding it a good idea, and it hasn't been hard for me for starting. So I'm really motivated, ready to go.
Well, here's the other part of the rant that I want to get in there, which is looking at Ben's recipes, which are a train wreck in my view. I don't know who the hell he's feeding, but his suggestions for food just blew my mind. Like, throw in 12 egg whites of this and blah, 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 serve a meaty. I'm like, I'm one little person. I'm 5'2". I'm not eating 12 egg whites of anything. Okay. What about one like single size portions? Because even what I found is that even those of us, I live alone. So I'm only eating for one. But even those of us who live with other people, it's rare that the entire household is doing this sort of metabolic reset or even a low carb eating plan or anything like that. It's usually like one person, maybe two, and everybody else is still eating what they want to eat. And when I was with my family, not one person in my family wants to eat the way I want to eat. They think I'm batshit crazy, which is true on some levels, but not with the food. So to me, it's like his recipes are not that useful because they're not practical. I'm not doing a dozen eggs of anything. I'm not cracking, I'm not separating a dozen eggs of anything. I'm not serving anything like that immediately. It needs to be small portion sizes. So to me, it's like I need to deal with the foods that I'm used to dealing with, making things that I'm used to dealing with. His recipes are not going to help me.
Yeah, I don't think you need to use his recipes. You just need to use the framework that we're working with.
Right.
I like the egg stuff because I have chickens and I have lots of eggs
No, I love eggs, but I'm
but
not eating 12 of them at once. I'm eating 2, maybe 3.
I always found that interesting. Like, and he had Cynthia Thurlow on. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's a women's, I can't remember whether she's a naturopath or a chiropractor or an MD, but she's an influencer who talks a lot about women's health and hormones and that sort of stuff. And when he's had her on, she would talk about like having 4 to 6 eggs after coming back from her workout. And like, I can't eat 6 eggs. Like in one sitting, I can't eat 6 eggs. If
I can't work out.
Like earlier this week, I made a vegetable omelet for myself. And it's in a big pan and I made it with 3 eggs, but I couldn't eat the whole thing in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I'm good for about 3 eggs at a time.
Me too.
And I don't always make eggs either. If I had chickens, maybe I would, but I think I actually had paid for his weekly recipe program. So every week he was supposed to send. He kind of stopped doing it, and then he stopped charging for it. But his recipes were like such bachelor kinds of recipes. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
So,
I mean he's a bachelor, so
yeah. Yeah.
He needs to get out more.
Well, I mean he's engaged, but here I'm not. While you're asking your questions, I'm also going to pull up Chronometer and just if anybody has any questions about that, we can.
I do have a question about that too, Martha, because Jen invited me, thank you, Jen, to download Chronometer, which hopefully I can get around to doing today. But here's the thing. When I'm making food for myself, which is the vast majority of time, that's what I'm doing, I don't know how, in terms of portions, unless I have a scale just sitting there, if I'm making something, I'm just making it. I'm not measuring things religiously at all. That kind of sucks the fun out of cooking for me. I just make what I want to make.
Well, let's see if I can figure out how to show you what I did. Let's see.
And I'll give you an example let me just say, I'll give you an example. Like I make my own granola and I always have that with Dr. Davis's, like either the SIBO or the Elroy yogurt. It's one of those two. And, but like I use a whole bag of coconut flakes and then throw in cups of this, that, and the other. And then I eat like half a cup of that granola when I'm having that breakfast, but I don't know how to portion out what part was pecans, what part was walnuts, what part was coconut flakes. I have no idea about that. That's what I mean.
Well, so in here, like I'm just to show you, I don't know, it's not showing you. If you wanted to, let's see. I mean, it's probably more work than you want to go through, but okay, homemade granola. And you can basically like put the whole shooting match in here and you just add your ingredients. So like, let's see.
Yeah. So it's create a recipe, right?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the button where I did it. Add the ingredient.
Maybe it says 3 dots to the right. I mean, to my right. Yeah.
Yeah. When
No.
it'll say add food. So when you're in creating a recipe, it'll say add food.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
it is.
I'm
It says
happy
add
to
food.
jump on a call if anyone is struggling with Chronometer but really wants to use it, because I think it's an amazing tool, and creates that beautiful little label.
Here, custom recipes. Add a recipe. So
Mhm.
then you would put homemade granola, and then what do you put in it?
Oh, I can tell you off the top of my head. It's 1 cup of black walnuts.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna just make it here, maybe. Foods. Okay, let me just do walnuts. Now, why is that? Oh, here we go. So you add walnuts.
pecans.
Let's see, 1 cup.
1 cup.
Okay. Then, add ingredients. Pecans.
Yep, same thing. 1 cup of pecans.
Are they raw?
Raw. Yep.
Okay.
1 cup of pumpkin seeds.
Hang on, I gotta find the seeds.
Yeah, I see.
Random seed too.
It's go raw. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Let's see.
Go
There we
raw.
There you go. 1 cup.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing for
Oh, wait,
sunflower.
that's the bar. We need the, wait a minute. There we go. Go raw pumpkin seeds with
Yes,
61.
that's them.
Okay. So it's 16 ounces because it's 1 cup, right?
Correct.
Okay. What else?
Sunflower seeds, same thing from Go Raw.
Or they have salt or no salt?
I believe they have salt.
Okay.
Half.
It's going to be
16 ounces. And then, but wait, there's more. And then half a cup of golden flaxseed. Is it golden flaxseed?
I mean, these are probably all pretty close in nutritional. So it's, let's see.
And then the biggest ingredient is the coconut flakes.
Dried, shredded, unsweetened.
They're unsweetened. They're organic. I think they're called Let's Go Organic.
Well, this is just for nutritional content. So how much do you put in there?
Well, it's a whole package. Let me grab the package and I can tell you.
Did I miss something? 8 ounces is a cup, correct?
Oh, you're right. I got to go back and fix that. Sorry. Well, I'll go back and fix that in a minute.
Or you can just keep doing it like you're doing 2 cups, like double it and it'll probably still work.
Yeah,
but
I did. You're right.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely
no,
right.
you're right. I got to fix these.
Chris.
It's 8 ounces a cup. I don't know where
Math, it's not for the faint of heart.
It sounds like a good granola. Do you bake it at all?
I
or-
do, yes. 350 for 20 minutes. And I rotate it or toss it every 3 minutes.
Is there anything in it? Are those the ingredients in total right there? Or is there any oil or any almond butter or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there's oil. There's
Hang on, let me get the flakes in here.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a half a cup.
no. It's
whole
probably
bag.
like 16 ounces of coconut flakes.
Okay,
think.
and then what's the oil or what else?
Half a cup of MCT oil.
Mm.
And I also throw in a scoop of Paleo Valley bone broth protein. Yeah, there we go. It could
Unflavored?
be any of those. No, it's not unflavored. It's either vanilla or salted caramel or
All right, I'm just gonna do this. Okay. And how much of that?
one. I think a total of 2 scoops. One before I bake it, one after I bake it. So it's a total of 2 scoops.
Is that it?
Well, there's spices, but I guess we don't need to talk about. I mean, I throw in like a couple of scoops. Probably like a tablespoon of cinnamon. And like a tablespoon of vanilla extract.
People didn't know they were going to get a little recipe school here.
and four tablespoons of monk fruit allulose, like brown monk fruit allulose, to sweeten everything.
Powder?
It's not powdered, it's the brown sugar, so it's granular, but it's monk fruit allulose. There's no erythritol in it.
How is monk fruit allulose? Allulose is an ingredient itself. Is it monk fruit allulose?
It's like a blend of monk fruit and allulose.
Do you know what brand, Karen?
I can get it in 1 second.
Monk shoe allulose syrup? No.
Oh, I have it. It's called Micro Ingredients Monk Fruit Sweetener with Allulose Golden.
Micro ingredients. Monk fruit sweetener.
With allulose golden. There it is.
There it is.
4 tablespoons.
That's another reason I like this app is they have so many alternative
Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay.
Dr. Mercola, I think.
Can I ask one question before you? Okay. You said 4 tablespoons, but this is scoops, ounces, or grams. Can you give me a ballpark? Is it like a couple of scoops or?
No, the scoop that they have in there is very small. It's literally 4 tablespoons. Hold on, 4 tablespoons.
That might be like 8 scoops or something.
Grams.
It's a quarter cup. That doesn't help.
Okay, because a quarter cup would be 2 ounces. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, is that it?
Well, I'm probably, and then I throw in spices if you care about that stuff. Besides the cinnamon.
I got the cinnamon in there. What else is in there?
I also throw in 5 spice powder, like a teaspoon of that, and me see.
Ginger or
No, that's the one thing I didn't put in there.
cloves or
No, but like a half a teaspoon of salt.
Okay, so sea salt.
It's the Ava Jane's kitchen salt.
Who?
Ava Jane's kitchen salt. It's like very unprocessed, but anyway.
Okay, I'm just gonna put Redmond's in
There it
here.
is. Ava Jane's Kitchen Kalima sea salt.
wow.
Wow, it's pretty amazing that they even had
It
that
is.
in here.
Yeah.
That's it, Kalima sea salt.
And how much do you do? A teaspoon?
Probably like a half a teaspoon. And probably like a half a teaspoon of pepper. A white pepper.
Okay, and how many servings would you guess are in this?
I put it in a big container and I dole out a half a cup at a time. So I don't know.
Let's see.
ChatGPT would need to tell me.
6. I'm going to say it's 20 servings.
Okay, let's go with that.
Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's
Maybe 24.
24 servings. Okay. So one serving, you said, is a half a cup is 300, 368 calories. 13 grams of carbohydrate, 7.1 grams of dietary fiber.
About 6 grams of net,
Oh, yep.
right?
And protein, 9.4 grams. Your fat is 34.5.
Wow.
And then basically you have this recipe. Jen, can you share a recipe with somebody?
When I get home, I'll see if we can, because I would love to have this recipe. Yeah, I think you can. I've shared the label before with people who wanted a label for their creations. So I know there's a way to make it a PDF. So let me see if I can.
But you
Martha,
you
now
can
that you've
see in
done
here, I made a cucumber avocado soup. I put that in there. And then, let's see, custom foods. I did liquid whey. Because I use whey in a lot of stuff and they didn't have liquid whey in there. So that's actually a great source of protein also.
Yeah. And is that so?
that-
Liquid whey, does that mean it's not processed?
It's from my yogurt.
Yeah, it's drained.
Oh, right.
I strain all of my yogurt and like sometimes I'm like way overloaded in my refrigerator with jars of whey. But I add, like, if I make a soup, I add whey to it. If I like, I think I was telling Jen, I made something with yogurt the other day, and the yogurt I strained is kind of thick. And so I added 2 tablespoons of whey. But I also went through and calculated out what the homemade yogurt is strained, because it's different strained or not.
Right.
I didn't know that, because I always strain my yogurt because Dr. Davis says that whey is insulinotropic. So I might strain it for like 2 to 4 hours. And then when I pull it out of the refrigerator, I will add back in, because you can't get it creamy unless you put that whey in. That whey is like the magic stuff.
Yep.
Bob suggested MCT oil to maybe blend it, but that doesn't work. You need the whey.
I heard a really interesting story from Dr. Ninham at the conference. Somehow we got off on the subject of whey. Again, and mute Marcy here for a second. So at the we were talking. He was talking about the disposal of different food products or something, and he said, "Well, you know, they had to figure." Oh, we were talking about the powdered proteins. And he basically said, well, some of that stuff in the whey protein basically came from them trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this waste from the dairy industry? Because they could not use it. I mean, they could not put it into the plumbing because it's highly corrosive.
Right.
So, like, to me, then I think, okay, that's an interesting, you know, people will sometimes take apple cider vinegar before they eat to increase their stomach acid or something. Like, I don't know, maybe like a tablespoon of whey would work that same way of acidifying your stomach, because it's coming from all those lactic acid bacteria, and it acidify your stomach and help digest the food. I don't know. It's my latest crazy idea, but
Yeah.
you know, why not?
Right.
Martha, I just want to say thank you for putting in my crazy granola recipe into the chronometer. Now that you've done that, I am intrigued. So I guess I will sign up for the chronometer and see what else I can put in there.
Well,
so thank
you know,
you.
it's interesting, but it's, you know, again, it's a tool,
Mhm.
and we don't want to become a slave to the tools,
Right.
but it may be useful, especially if we cook for ourselves, in
Mhm.
understanding like how, like, are we getting the nutrient? Like for me, I'm looking at it to see, am I getting enough nutrients? I mean, I know I'm taking the bean minerals, so I'm back at, but the first day I entered my stuff, I did not have enough micronutrients. And then I went and entered bean minerals, and my micronutrient profile was fine. But like for me, I want to focus on, am I getting enough nutrients? Because I think, having been low carb and restricted window eating for so long, that I may actually not be getting enough nutrients.
Mhm.
And that also alters your metabolism. And then one other little kind of weird tip that I mentioned to Jen, in Dr. Mercola's book, he mentioned this, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because John and I did this for about a month and a half. Take your temperature.
Yeah.
And if your temperature is below the 98.6 or whatever, like your metabolism is not burning.
Right.
And John's body temperature was typically anywhere from 2 to 3 degrees below mine. And the other thing that we did, because the person who had told me to test it, he was actually somebody looking at carbon monoxide poisoning, but he had me take it from 3 different places. And so I kept a record of 3 different places. And it was very interesting to me, because different parts of my brain are like 100 degrees, and this one's 98 and this one's 97 or whatever. And anyway, it was Chris, he actually was trying, the guy who originally told me about it was wanted me to get a group of Parkinson's like couples and have the, you know, the spouse and the person with Parkinson's do their temperature for a month and see if it kind of held up to his theory. But you know, I had quite a few things on my plate.
Wow.
Is hypothyroid common in Parkinson's? Do you know?
I know that there are thyroid issues. That's actually a connection I noted more with females initially. Have you ever been to the website Health Unlocked?
Yeah. Lisa's. Yeah. Oh, no, the other one. No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Health Unlocked is a British patient website that started out initially as a thyroid health
Oh,
kind.
was it? Interesting.
And I learned about it probably a decade ago and signed up, and I was in there, but a lot of the people who had thyroid issues also had Parkinson's issues. So I was kind of starting to kind of make that connection. Now it took me, I'll say, almost another 10 years to make the connection to that shikimate pathway and glyphosate, because the thyroid hormone is in that shikimate pathway, and so is dopamine.
Wow. Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I'm just kind of a weirdo.
Well, it's all.
But I'm your weirdo.
I was going to say, but you're our weirdo,
No,
Martha.
I'm your weirdo. And
That's why we're actually planning
You
a
sure
field
are.
trip.
You're
We're just
our
going to come and
weirdo.
camp at your house.
okay.
We're just going to come and camp at your house and just see what you do.
Well, I'm looking at going out. Well, I know you're up in Maryland, but I'm actually looking at two things. So one, there's a meeting at Joel Salatin's farm in Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Like the 11th and 12th, or the 12th and 13th of September. So I'm looking at that because a friend of mine that runs the Health Freedom Defense Fund is speaking there, and also Thomas Massey, who I really love, even though I don't want to talk about politics, but I love Thomas Massey because he makes everyone mad.
Oh. Well, what's wrong with that?
He says no to every no. Like he seems like a man of reason, but maybe not, but I like him.
I think Joe Salinger's farm is drivable for me, maybe a few hours, but
yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking about going there, and then when I finish my poop book, I'm thinking about like going on a road tour to, just hit the road with the book in a van, with maybe a flying poop emoji on top. And
ew.
I don't know about that, but just talking to people about digestive health and
Please come to the East Coast, Martha.
so
And please come to Michigan.
so I'm thinking I'm gonna like kind of snake through the whole US.
You'd have a lot of places you could see people, that's for sure.
And I think it could be kind of fun. So
That would be awesome. I would love to meet you without a box around your head.
yeah, that would be nice. I would love to meet you too. So, and you're right down the street from Sally Fallon too.
Yes, I am. And see, if you were going to come out this way, couldn't you do like something with Sally?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because I mean they're really the only people that I know that are really talking about real food.
Yes. I mean, she's still president of the Weston A.
Price. Yeah.
Weston A. Price Foundation. Yeah. So it seems like, I mean, I don't know. But it seems like that would just be such a synergy of, she could do her nourishing traditions talk. You can come and you can talk about, all the shitty things around poop. And then we can eat right after that,
Maybe we should do the poop first, and then we
maybe.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome.
It would. I could book you in somewhere in Traverse City and in Detroit.
All right. Well, I think I'm getting close to my first draft. I'm going to have somebody read it. So, if you want to volunteer to read the first draft, let me know.
I'd volunteer for sure. So
I'd volunteer, Chris, for sure.
I'd like to read manuscripts. Is our next meetup with during the sugar shift time?
It is
Tuesday night.
Yep.
Okay. So we can continue to ask questions about this then. And I'm trying to do one of his, augmentary protocols every day. I don't know if other people are really doubling, tripling, quadrupling up. I'm just kind of easing into things, light therapy, the cold showers. I'm just kind of trying to do one a day and see what's working that way. I'll tell you, I think those cold showers are really making a difference for me inflammation wise. So, but it's
in the morning, I actually started doing this, and maybe I said it on the other call. I alternate back and forth. So, because I think about it like a squeezing the lymph.
Yeah.
So I get in, it's on hot, I turn it to cold, I wait a minute, I turn it back to hot or warmish, then I turn it back to cold. So I go back and forth a few times, and then I end on cold.
Oh, I see what you're saying in this. Okay, I see.
But
yeah.
like to me, I'm thinking it's expanding and contracting the temperature.
Yes.
I'll do that, and I'm thinking that probably would help the lymph flow.
Yeah. I don't think I told the group the story, a quick story that we went up north and went swimming in Torch Lake, which is a really, really deep lake, maybe one of the deepest inland lakes in the country. And because we hadn't had much hot weather up into, through, it was later in June when we started getting heated up. So then the water heats up a little more, but we always swim there and get, that's a cold plunge any time of year. But
Right.
It was particularly cold and kind of broke my resistance to doing that. And I came home and I was able to get in a totally cold shower easily for 2 minutes. So I've kind of kept that up, but I was amazed at how it helps with inflammation. And I also, in terms of joint inflammation, and I also wanted to share, I'm into this whole thing about inflammation being something that we're always aware of, especially nutritionists, practitioners, or inflammation. Well, I'm so personally understanding it because I've kind of just gotten through a sort of hard family stuff with one of our sons, and things are rectifying, and it's going to be okay. A lot of stress, and I just got back from my functional medicine doctor, just wonderful guy. And my inflammation markers were so high from that period of time, even though diet was the same, less exercise, yes, because I haven't felt up to it, but it's incredible what this anxiety, it's incredible.
I think I mentioned before on one of these calls, the researcher who was studying insulin, when she had to give the talk.
Yes.
So I'm actually listening to Gabor Mate's When the Body Says No right now. And it's all about stress, and somebody recommended it to me when I told them about the interviews that we're doing for the Parkinson's docuseries. Actually, it was Debbie Osment. She said, I'm reading this book, and she said it's like really eye-opening. And
okay, I'm going to read it.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I'll put it in the book club or not, because I think some people, they won't want to face what it's telling them. Because a lot of it, the first part, I mean, I'm only 4 or 5 chapters in, but he talks about like our childhood family relationships.
Yes.
Oh God.
Has set these patterns that
that's not good.
Yeah, it's basically what you perceive as trauma, right? In any
Right,
of life. Yeah. I'm familiar with his work, yeah. But I find if your microbiome is good, then no matter what comes your way, it's like a shield, you're able to think, and brain being gut being the first brain.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, that really, I think is that's where your resilience sits.
Yes.
And
the bottom line resilience. Yep.
Yeah, your bottom line resilience and your first line of defense, which is, it's interesting to me too, because when I gave my TED talk 10 years ago, I basically said that they're the sentinels at the gate. If things are in balance, they are your protection. They are you. I mean, but things aren't in balance. Like nothing in our world is in balance. So we're working to get that gut back into a state where it can,
Yep.
hold the ground, if you will. Like we're getting ready to launch our Perfect Peace probiotic. And
so what? You're getting ready to launch that? That's awesome.
People, I mean, we've held off just, we're small. We can only do so many things at once, but we're like, okay, this is the year if we're ever going to do it. There's just so much coming at us. So much.
Exactly.
It's all chaos. That's the problem. I mean, no matter where you are on the political spectrum, we're faced with an unprecedented level of chaos that I know I don't remember in my lifetime. And I'm 69, I'm going to be 70 next year. I don't ever remember this. And I was a child of the 60s during the riots and all that other stuff. But government's the agent of chaos. That is what is different to me. To me, it's like, it's just hard to figure out. The government was always relatively stable, even if you didn't like it when I was a kid. Now it's like, it's the agent of change. It's this, it's that. So that makes things way different.
I know we are just learning how immeasurably this is affecting everybody. I think it's, yeah.
Well, and we've been under tremendous stress from 2020.
Exactly.
Because of COVID, yes.
The stress that we were put under there, the isolation, because like our connection to each other is also one of our key kind of points of resilience. And so if you don't have that network of connection, that's part of what helps you be resilient, because okay, like if something bad happens, I got somebody I can talk to, or I have a shoulder to cry on, or or just somebody to sit with me. And, this iPhone and all the technology has driven us apart from each other in so many ways. I mean, it's great that we can come together here, and we didn't really have a lot of this 5 years ago that all sort of came out of COVID, but it's the same, like you're saying, like you want to see my face outside of a box.
Yeah.
Like
I do.
To see your face outside of a box.
That's my dream, Martha.
Okay, I'm going to come see you.
That's
but
sweet.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's like Zoom is never going to take the place of, like, it's helpful, it's an adjunct, and during COVID, it made a huge difference in terms of my mental health, because I was still able to continue my volunteer work without being on site when we were in the middle of COVID. But that never took the place of actual human interaction.
Right.
It never did. And the first time, post COVID in 2021, when I got to see my family for Mother's Day, like my extended family, it took on this magical quality, because we were in the same room, and and we could talk to each other, and there was nothing like that, and Zoom could never do that. Not in a million years.
COVID just happened because we were not connected, and people were not, even thinking the same. There was the major disconnection. So, so we need to build meaningful connections where we are. So, so that's actually, you don't know much about me, but I did sign, Martha, with you to be affiliated, and I have amazing stories. I just have not been much out. I've been working. I have owned a coffee shop here in Calgary, and our original idea was to have them displayed, to have even empty bottles of your probiotics, which I have a great experience. I got a few of every kind, and yeah, it's amazing experience. I have a elderly parents, 84. Well, I cannot say elderly because my dad works full time at 84, and
Wow.
mom's 83. Yeah, and you know what? I pulled them out with probiotics. Pulled them out. My mom actually has Parkinson's and she doesn't even know.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not by the, that they are just like they want to be healthy. No, but I believe it's God honoring me, and my prayers and my work, and providing for them is just like they don't even know what they have. That they have gold, but they take it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's amazing that they just traveled. They came from Europe. They've been there for a month, and everybody's impressed with them. Just being polite of the party and really. But yeah, they make own. Dad is now on sugar shift. Just fermenting it, and yeah, and mom takes. I wanted to ask you, Martha, quickly about the PS 128. Have you had experience with that, and have you used it for your husband?
So I got the product. I talked to the company. This was several years. So when they first came out, the name of the product was called Solus. And so we got the product, we isolated the strain of bacteria, we sent it off and had it sequenced, and we compared it to our Lactobacillus plantarum to see if they had the same capabilities. And ours had all the same capabilities that it had, but ours had its glyphosate remediation and a few other things. I did reach out to them to see if, we could like purchase raw materials from them or, license the strain in some way to include it in a Parkinson's specific formula, but they were only interested in if you were going to have them do your full like lineup. So, and then shortly after that, they changed and renamed the product Neurally. I think they've done some great clinical research. So, I talk about the product and I do tell people about it. It's very expensive. And the only thing I can attribute to the expense to is recovering the money from the clinical trials, because the product itself is not expensive to make.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's. I just thought because of your husband had.
Yeah.
I just thought you must have tried. I just never heard you speaking about. So, yeah, that's great. Can I just ask you also? Like, I asked to join the Facebook group, and it says enter the email, and I try not to have any personal. Like, I don't have my phone number with the Facebook or any other information. So, and I was not added yet. So,
Okay, I'm just in here while I'm trying to pull it up. Let me
thank
see
you. Yeah.
if I can.
And thank you so much for all the work you do. And yeah, I've been learning lots, and it's kind of hard to, I do know quite a bit, but I'm finding very, very good and helpful and sharing. And
Thank you. I might have to get.
I go under Marcia COO. So that's how I applied.
MARC. Oh, there we go. There you are. I see you. Okay.
Did you add me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
That's interesting because it didn't show up as a open request.
Yeah. You see, I keep it, like I never do any whatever they ask. So maybe I'm not even seen much. But maybe it didn't go through or whatever, like as you said. But yeah, I keep it just no numbers, no nothing with the Facebook. Just I use it as a tool.
Right. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. So
It's kind of invasive.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna sign off and I have to go to work. I just
Yes, well, I have to sign
yeah.
off because I have another
Yeah.
call at 5 o'clock, but I saw Leslie, you just hopped on here and I wondered if you saw the time and you're in Central Time or if you just hopped on late.
Partially late, but did you start an hour and over an hour ago?
Yeah.
Then I guess when it converted, it was weird. I put it in my calendar and I thought, I think it's at noon. And I thought, I'm going to be clever and put in Eastern Standard Time or whatever, but it's Mountain Time.
No, it's Eastern time.
It's Eastern.
Well,
It was
then it was
yeah.
outsmarting me because it ended up putting it in my calendar at 1:30 instead of 12:30. And I was going to physically put it in at 12:30 Pacific time. So I'm sorry.
Okay. So, well, I did record it, and so we'll post the recording. So we covered a number of questions, and we went through a little bit on chronometer, if you're using chronometer, to how to enter a recipe, and we did Karen's homemade granola recipe.
Oh, it's delicious.
And then, we answered some questions and talked about, the unique challenges for people who've been low carb for a long time versus somebody who's doing it the first time.
Okay.
But so that it will probably post tomorrow.
Okay.
And I will post it on the Facebook page, but then I will probably put the link in the Sunday email going out for next week.
Okay. I
Just
appreciate that.
From
Martha.
BiotiQuest then? The Sunday email?
Yeah, you'll get an email that's for week 2. That's kind of
Oh, okay.
It's just the 30-day reset.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm on that. So the Facebook group is the Sugar Shift that just changed names, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're just using the Facebook, the Sugar Shift.
Sugar Okay.
Well, I
sugar.
got my book, and I'm very sad that I bought it through my indie bookshop because I saw I could have ordered it through Sugar Shift online. I saw that afterwards.
Oh, that's okay.
And real quick is that I'm supposed to start. I found out I'm supposed to start radiation treatment probably the end of the month. So I'm thinking maybe not change anything with myself what I normally do. I
Yeah,
play around with fasting here and there, but I don't want to totally change my, everything right
Right.
now. So I'm gonna wait and. I have a couple friends who are interested, so we'll start it maybe together later. But I have the book, and I'm also listening to it audio. So
great. Well, and then we'll have our recorded calls that you can go back and listen to, and and we're always here if you have questions. So
okay. Well, I talked to my friends and relatives about Sugar Shift a lot. And are they able to? I know they're not signed up through there. Should they sign up for a list and they'd be able to be on to have access to that, or is this just for people who are already using it?
you mean for the challenge?
Yeah. Or they should just go to your blog maybe for any information for fun to read.
Well, if they want to get the information from this group, they would probably have to be on the list to get the email of the link. Although, you know what, I'm like, usually these Q&A calls, we usually put those in a private channel. And then if you have the link, you can access it on YouTube. Otherwise, it's not accessible to the public. But if
Sure.
you had the link, Leslie, you could share the link with them and they still access it.
Okay. I just didn't want to do something, that, intrude on something that really is supposed to kind of.
If they want to get the emails that kind of are, it's just a series of emails that sort of follow his 30-day challenge and give you some tips and some resources. If they want those, you can have them email us at info@BiotiQuest and we'll get them added.
Okay. Yeah, I just think there's so much good information about BiotiQuest. They're not over the line yet where they've ordered it to try. I in one way I want to give them a bottle and say here, try, but it's like, well, then the money back thing if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I thought if I hear a little bit more other than me just going on about it.
Hey,
Okay, great.
Martha, can I ask you just a real quick question before we peel off here?
Yeah.
Back to the lymph stuff. I'm not like a cold plunge person, but I do dry brushing with the Therasage has that dry brush with the copper bristles. And before bathing, I do that. I mean, to me, that gets the lymphs moving too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's on his list.
It is. That's right.
Yes.
You're right, Chris. It sure
Yeah,
is.
that is the light therapy and the cold, he's got a nice little list, and also adding the coffee enema, which I have really tried, and yeah. Oh, is that your brush?
It's not a
No,
brush. It's
that looks like a
Like,
beating
that's for-
stick.
they use it in like, I don't know, the Ayurvedic place I know, you do it in the morning to kind of wake your energy up, but I think it also gets your lymph flowing. And
Yeah.
I also have one of those little jiggler things.
You mean the vibration plate?
Yeah. Like
Oh, good.
there's a cheap one you can get on Amazon for like $99, which is what I
I
had.
bought the $400 one from Life Pro. The one that's probably ruining the joist in my house, but I don't care. Until the roof caves in, I'm going to keep using it.
But I like
That's
my
great.
I get up
I
and
think-
jiggle in the
I
morning.
think that's really a powerful lymph protocol.
Mhm.
And
Really
I
powerful.
have a rebounder, one of those mini tramps, but
I do
Oh
too.
yeah.
I don't use it very much because it's over on my other side of my house, outside on the patio, and I just never go over there. So I need to get out and do that. Okay, I am going to have to get off because I'm
Okay.
supposed to be on a call with Australia here and right now.
Yikes.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Martha.
Martha.
Thank you.
Chris, it
Good
was
to
so nice
see
to
you.
see you again.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See you
Bye-bye,
next
everybody.
Tuesday. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Mhm.